Hello, I'm Scott Cruikshank from the Calgary Herald, and this is George Johnson. We're here on Friday night at the Saddledome at the end of what was a rather wild and entertaining night of hockey. It's hard to ignore, of course, what Johnny Gaudreau did. He's become, well, he is their best player. There's no question. He had a hat trick tonight, 4 points, +4, and he's got a flair for the dramatic when times they need a goal.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably the most theatrical player they've had here since Theo Fleury. I mean, every time he touches the puck, I mean, we saw it last year, but tonight it was certainly on display. There's nothing that he can't do when he's got the puck, and he seems to rise to the moment when they need him. He's always there and does the business, and he's, you know, on a lot of dull nights this winter and in many winters to come, he's going to make it worth watching.
Yeah, and if he was the best player on the ice tonight, and he clearly was, the second best player for sure was Brad Marchand of the Bruins, who is amazing, and you kind of forget because he's such a
pesky little feller,
to put it pleasantly, that he can play the game, and man, he played tonight. And it was very interesting when the two of them got together for a little chatter, a little slashing. That made it rather cool as well.
Yeah, and it turned out to be almost like a mano-a-mano, one-on-one kind of, you know, Larry Bird versus Magic, Wilt versus Bill Russell. I mean, they were going, in essence, they were going head-to-head, and they were trying to, you could tell they were trying to outdo each other. And as you mentioned during the game, it's not very often that somebody starts to get under Johnny's skin. I mean, he's been left alone pretty much over the course of his year and a bit here in the league, but Marchand was all over him like pink asbestos, and he was really trying his best to bother him. And the little guy, it just seemed to wind him up and make him play better.
Yeah, and it's hard to talk about tonight's game without mentioning Dougie Hamilton. The lead up to the game, the days leading up to the game, was all about him facing the Bruins again, and he'd been pretty not much of a factor till at the end. He took a penalty. I guess a penalty shot went to Marchand. He scored, and he looked like he'd be the zero. And then, of course, he's the hero, picking up the primary assist on Gaudreau's overtime goal.
Yeah, and I mean, it's for a guy like that, especially a first trade. It's got to be, you know, a little bit unnerving. It would have been worse, obviously, if he'd been in Boston and everybody would have been giving it to him, because those people in Boston, I'm sure, will not be forgiving when the Flames go in there. But it wound up good for him, and you know, that's all you can say. But about Marchand, yeah, he was, to be second best, as good as he was tonight, shows just how good Johnny Gaudreau was.